Hello guys and vanakkam back to my channel. Imagine everything as I tell you. It was the year 1836. A young man named William Collinson is walking along the coast of Northland, New Zealand. He is a naturalist and he is just taking a walk just like any other day. He was one of the earliest Europeans to step foot in the village, and soon he comes across a Maori woman who was cooking potatoes in a strange vessel. This provoked his interest and he inquired about the vessel, and the people of the village told him that they have been using this vessel to cook potatoes for generations after generations, and it was made out of bronze completely. Now this made him very much intrigued and he started to examine the vessel. He found a lot of strange inscriptions around the vessel and he figured out that it was not actually a vessel but what used to be a part of a bell, a ship's bell. As William couldn't recognize these strange inscriptions on the bell, he couldn't even recognize the language that was used here. This only intensified his curiosity, so he started inquiring the older generations of the village, who told him that many years ago, generations ago, their village was struck with a huge thunderstorm. A huge thunderstorm raved across their village and a lot of trees were uprooted, and this bell was found under a tree. Now, this intrigues him furthermore because it was a common practice in their village, in the Maori culture, that when a man is dead, they bury his prized possessions beneath a tree. What does that mean? That means that this was an ancient relic or a talisman which belonged to someone else at some point of time. Now, William wanted to trace down the origins of this bell, track it back down in history, and after much negotiation with the villagers, he somehow took it to a place where he could examine it, and he got in a lot of linguistic scholars who translated what was written on the bell. And the language that was used in these inscriptions were said to be Tamil. The linguistic scholars somehow translated what was written in these inscriptions, and it said Mohaiden Baksh ship bell. In other words, it is a bell which belonged to the ship of Mohaiden Baksh. And we don't know who this person is. It's not a historical person, so there was a lot of confusions revolving around the entire story. One thing led to another and things got even more interesting, and he just couldn't find the answers. As I previously mentioned, the language which was used on the bell was Tamil, but it was a medieval form of Tamil which predates 14th century AD, which means that this bell that we are talking about is somewhere between 500 to 700 years ago. And how did a bell from the land of Tamilians travel all the way back to the island of New Zealand 700 years ago? Tamilians were known to be amazing seafarers right from ancient history. This intrigued William Collinson, and he wondered if Tamilians travelled as far as the island of New Zealand all those years ago. Now, there are a lot of theories revolving this story. A lot of people say that this bell did not necessarily have to come from Tamil Nadu. Maybe a Tamil man travelled in a ship which was used for trading. Maybe the bell was made in Tamil Nadu. It was from the land of Tamils. It wasn't necessarily Tamilians who travelled to New Zealand all those years ago. But however, people who know the history of Tamil, this comes as no surprise to them, because it has been said time and time again that they have been amazing seafarers. Tamilians have been amazing seafarers throughout the history, and they have travelled throughout the world using turtles corridor, turtle sea routes, and they travel from place to place using sea turtles. And that might be the answer. They might have reached New Zealand all those years ago, because we have proper evidence that the Tamilians might have travelled as far as Australia before 14th century AD. The bell is pretty much in pristine condition, and it is currently in the possession of the Museum of New Zealand, which is in Wellington. However, what do you think about this? What do you think about the bell? Do you think it belonged to an ancient Tamil man? Do you think Tamilians were capable enough to travel as far as New Zealand 700 years ago? Or do you think it belonged to a trader, a Tamil trader, who were apparently traveling in a ship and the ship just got shipwrecked or abandoned, and that reached the shore of Varangarai? The name intrigues me because the word Karai in Tamil means shores. And there are numerous number of places all around the world which has names which are of the Tamil origin. So it comes off as no surprise to people who know the Tamil history, because they have been amazing seafarers from the times of ancient history. So So what do you think about this video? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And until I see you again with another video like this, take care, stay safe.
I'ma take it.